Hey guys, Sean Zine, the host for the Network Marketing Insider. I'm excited. We have a great guest. I'm trying to change things up a little bit, so we're going to get right into it. Let me bring on my next guest. What's up, Kirk? How you doing, man?
Good, Sean. Excited to be here.
Yeah, man. I always have calls beforehand with anyone I bring on, and I always, either get the energy or I don't have the energy. And man, guys, you are in for a treat. The energy's here, the passion, the drive, the value that you might want to, stick around the entire show because you're going to be able to take some notes and actually implement. As always, I'm always asking my guests, who are you and why did you get into network marketing?
Well, hey, thanks. First of all, thanks for having me on. It is a pleasure meeting you. I look forward to seeing where all of this goes. I mean, the real reason is I think what most people do. I got into network marketing because I was kind of at rock bottom. My back was against the wall. I needed to make some extra money. Uh, I was a career firefighter, and I couldn't go grab another part-time job because I was out of work. So I I was invited to a business overview at a restaurant, and I was your typical skeptic, sat in the front with my arms crossed, rolling my eyes, saying, "Here we go, one of these things." But by the end of it, my leg was bouncing up and down like a jackrabbit, and I was pretty excited about what I saw, and I said, "I'm going to go for it." Uh, I think this story will relate with a lot of people. I went home. I tried to explain it to my wife. Again, we were at rock bottom as far as I was out of work for the third time after a snowmobile accident, and we were living paycheck to paycheck, and it cost $450 to start in that company, and we didn't have it. And said to myself, my wife said no, so I joked my first why was to make my money back before my wife got her credit card bill, and I did. I looked at the people who were making the money, and I said, you know what? These people have no advantage over me. I'm a broke firefighter who's sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I needed to make money. But as you know, being around the industry, things, evolve over time, and certainly the money is there, and you have to work for it. It's called network marketing, so you have to work for it. But the thing I didn't see coming was all the friends and family, people that you get so close with. I mean, you end up spending more time with them than do some of your closest family. And that I never saw coming, but that is one of the things I'm most grateful for, to be honest with you.
I love it, man. Guys, we're going to dive even deeper. We're going to get into, what has happened in Kirk's life and the journey. We're all on a journey. We all, just like, I love that what you said as far as community. Yes, the people that you're going to put yourself around, they're actually building, they're actually working the business. You want to be around those people. The ones that say, oh, this is not going to work, or they've been in it for like a week, a month, 6 months, or like, this is not working because you're not doing anything. I have some friends that were in a community and they're like, and I'm introducing them to this new thing I'm doing, and they're like, but nobody's going into it that I know. I'm like, did you sign up yet? And they're like, no. That's why they're not getting into your activity, your opportunity, because you don't believe in it yourself to even get into it. If you get into it, all your friends are gonna be like, okay, now sign me up. But if you can't believe in it, that's a powerful thing. Do you believe, that's a solid mindset to have if you're starting out?
Yeah, 100%. There's a saying I live by: doubt will take you out of action. Action will take you out of doubt. Right? We've all heard that. And it's so true. And as you move through this journey of network marketing, a lot of things you hear, which are repetitive intentionally, may not resonate when you start, but a month, 6 months, a year, 3 years, you look back and you say, that's what that really meant. Like in a lot of comp plans, it's like, go find three people. And, at the end of the day, no, it's really go find three motivated people. It's not go find three people. Anybody can go find three people. So yeah, no, you got to put in the time. And what you said about belief. I mean, listen, if you don't believe in what you're doing, you're never going to be successful, because people aren't buying into the opportunity. They're buying into you.
Yeah.
Is Sean going to get me where I want to go? So they're looking at you saying, is this a person that really believes in what they're doing and they're doing what it takes to succeed? And people are watching, even when you don't think they're watching, they're watching.
You'll get that's 100%. I got a message this morning from someone I was involved in another opportunity a couple years ago, and they're trying to get me into their other opportunities. I'm saying no, no, no. All of a sudden, I got a message. Hey, oh, you're doing some solos, and if people that don't know what solos are, that's how you can kind of generate traffic with using other people's email lists. And they come in, and people say, well, you're taking someone else. They're not working with them right now. They're looking for another opportunity. And that opportunity, if you are dripping on someone with using some education, some value, they're going to come over to your opportunity. If it's just, hey, buy my product or service, nobody wants that. Why? You got to give the why of why to get involved.
Well, you know what, Sean, I call it interview process. As you're meeting people, whether it's social media or in person, I ask a lot of questions. Where I see people fail is they'll ask questions, but they're only asking questions to pitch. If you actually become a good listener and find out what's going on in their life, it comes full circle, and you'll have a moment where, I can say, hey, Sean, this may or may not be for you, but I got something you should take a look at. I've always gone with the laid back approach as well. I mean, I know there's people that have had success just out there dropping the hammer on everybody, and God bless them. But, I don't want to be walking into a restaurant or a family function and everybody's running the other way. Oh, here comes Kirk. So, and that's what I tell people, actually, Sean, and this applies to all things. It happens to be in my, the company I'm working with. We're not selling anything, but it applies no matter what it is. And that is people don't want to be sold, right? If you lead with the sale, you already created a roadblock that they have to get over. Or you have to get over. I'm sorry. You're creating more challenges for yourself. Whereas if you just talk with people and be real and be a good listener and really show them that you care about what's going on in their life. I mean, listen, I made all the mistakes in the early days, just like we all do, right? I mean, we're all beginners at one point, and I'll be honest with you, I was prospecting a gentleman, and I'll give you two stories. I was prospecting a gentleman who told me he was in, and then I didn't hear from him like a month, and I'm like sending him text, dude, if you don't want to do this, just say so. And come to find out, he was in the ICU with pneumonia and almost died. So there's that side of it that you don't know about. And then there's the other side of it where I come online and I start pitching you, Sean, take a look at this, and never looked at your feed or anything. And, you just buried a family member today, and I'm hitting you with an opportunity. So that's where the professionalism needs to come into this industry. People need to be at a level where they're not just throwing shit against the wall, hoping it sticks. That, if it was that, this is not get rich quick. This is not get rich easy, but it can be get rich over time. I always say anyone in this industry can become a millionaire, multimillionaire, but not everyone's going to, because they refuse to evolve to the industry as a whole. They though it's, you've heard I don't want to say all these cliche things, but the definition of insanity, and we have it in our industry, even though they know going to a job every day for the next 30 years is a definition of insanity. Getting into network marketing and doing the same thing wrong until you quit is another level of insanity. If things aren't going the way you want, I tell everyone, stop what you're doing and reach out to somebody and ask them, for help or advice, and see, because this works. No matter what it is, network marketing works. It's a better way.
You're trading. Well, everyone trades their time for money. I'm a full-time teacher. You were a firefighter. We have to go somewhere, do something to get a paycheck. Network marketing, affiliate marketing, multi-level marketing. You're doing things sometimes one time, like for example, a video, putting it out on YouTube, having all of it set up properly because you have a system, because you learned something to apply. Then they go to a landing page, and then it's being sold there while you're sleeping, while you're working, and people are having cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Oh, but I want to get to that faster. I want to get to that now.
Me too.
It takes time.
But it don't work that way.
And what Kirk was saying as far as finding a mentor is huge. I have a mentor that you can find mentors in books, in podcasts, in real life people. Who you're speaking with can become a mentor of yours as well. That's important to learn and put in place the foundations to make sure you are successful in the near future. And also, Kirk was talking about working through people. Hey, can I just share an opportunity with you? So maybe you can take a look at it. It's not to sell the person that you're talking to, like us talking right now. It's our friends, our family, our coworkers. We might be in a conversation with, and they're like, oh, wait a minute. Kirk has something that you might want to take a look at. Can I introduce you? Boom. That's working through, not working towards someone at that moment.
Yeah. And if you think about it, that's the lifeblood of any small business, whether, ironically, most self-employed people refer to themselves as business owners, but at the end of the day, if they don't show up, they don't make money. So it's all along the same lines, what you're saying. I mean, there's no, if a big leader, if there was an easier way, let me say this, if there's a better or easier way, a big leader in the industry, if they didn't find it themselves, somebody within their organization would have already brought it to their attention in some way. And certainly, if there's any advantage out there, we want our teams to be successful. We're not going to keep it from you. We want you to know. And I think there's that perception that, Kirk's got some advantage, or, he's got some system that he's not sharing. Or no, trust me, if we have something, we want everyone in our organization to know so that they are successful. I mean, we live on the basis of help people get where they want to go, and you'll get where you want to go, right? So if I have an advantage, I'm going to give it to my people 100%. So
yeah, together we rise. And
right.
if everyone knows and utilizes it, but Kirk, the tools that are out there sometimes cost money. Why should I spend money to improve my business when I should just be able to share my link and that's it?
Yeah.
What do you say about that?
Well, there's plenty of analogies that we can use, right? I was a firefighter. I couldn't just become a firefighter and wing it. You have to be trained. There's network marketing, financial services. There's network marketing, product companies, where you need to know what these products or the services you're offering are going to, how they're going to affect people. You're not just throwing out a link. Listen, there's plenty of stories of people who got lucky. And if if go play the lottery, if you want to get lucky, play your scratch offs, this you have to put in the time. And when you believe in what back to where we started, when you believe in what you're doing so strongly, I jokingly say I'd go show this to the president and try to get the country out of debt. That's a high level of belief. And when you believe that way, you're unstoppable. Now, I've been in this industry now 16 years, and I've only been with 2 companies. I've had a great run. I dabbled in something in between, but it just wasn't my, really, as you said, I didn't believe in it. I had no heart in it. I dipped my toe in the water, just looking for a plan B, because my plan B at the time was sold, and I saw the writing on the wall that there was probably going to be no future there. So, I was doing what other leaders do. I was collecting my checks, and, they, not to get into the bad, but, sometimes agreements aren't honored, so you have to move on. And I resigned without a plan B, and I was searching. I had no purpose, right? We love this business. I love this industry. I love people, and I love getting to meet more people. And you have to believe in what you're doing. And, I was approached about the company I'm currently working with, and I was standoffish at first because I was angry at the entire industry. I was taking it out on the whole industry, and really I was just done wrong by the company I was with. The industry as a whole is a better way, as we said. And, I took a look and I jumped on board and, hit the top ranks in the company, one of the first. And, it's just when you believe in something, you're unstoppable. And that's where I'm at. And I'm sure that's where you're at. And when you're on top of your game, you can help so many more people because it's spewing out of you, even when you're not talking. People feel it.
No, well said, well said. Now, I'm a teacher, you're a firefighter back in the day. What are some ways that you made mistakes, I'm sure, when you were a firefighter?
Oh,
And, trying to, juggle having a business and also being a firefighter and it's a career. How did you make it work back then? Talk about some of the things you were doing, and then also maybe a mistake or two or a failure that you can share with those that are watching so they understand we're all real. We all make mistakes. We all learn from mistakes so that we're better in the future.
well, how about if you're cool with this, Sean, I'll do this quick little testimonial that I shared with you because you wanted me to share that. And that'll lead right into these questions that you're talking about. So, I was born and raised in upstate New York, the son of two blue-collar workers. My dad was a trucker. My mom took care of people with disabilities, and they worked hard their whole life. But their whole life, they lived paycheck to paycheck. I always joke that as a kid, I believe we were middle class, but I'm pretty sure we were poor. We lived in a single-wide trailer in the country, and we had plenty of hard life lessons growing up. Matter of fact, one of them was one time our well went dry. We had a dug well, and my stepdad hired I forgot what they call him. The guy with the switch goes around looking for a water vein in the yard, and the guy sticks a stick in the ground, and my dad grabbed a shovel and stuck that in the ground, and me and my brother dug 16 feet and struck water in that hole. And I think about that now as a firefighter, how crazy it was. We were down in that hole and it could have collapsed, but the moral of that story was keep digging. We need water. You got to keep digging. So when you need or want something, you got to keep digging, even when it gets hard. So fast forward, I graduated high school. I went in the United States Coast Guard, got out of the Coast Guard in the early 90s. There was no jobs. I bounced around job to job. And I look back at all of that experience as, it made me relatable to a lot of different people. And I look back at that now as what a benefit that was. My dad told me and my three brothers, whatever you do, don't become truck drivers. All four of us became truck drivers. You do what you know, but I knew that wasn't my future. I met a lot of New York City firemen while I was in the Coast Guard. I was stationed on Governor's Island in Manhattan, and I wanted to be a fireman, and I made it happen. That was my dream. I took every civil service test, and eventually I did get hired in the New York City Fire Department, but I had met my girlfriend at the time who is we've been together for 33 years. So that was a good decision passing on my dream job.
Yeah.
And I ended up in fire service in my hometown, which when I took the job, I took a $20,000 per year pay cut. So as a fireman, I had to work side jobs, and I went back to trucking. And like many firemen, I eventually threw on a tool belt and called myself a contractor, and we got focused on roofing. Now, my wife and I are building our life, buying a house, buying rental property. Nobody plans on getting sick or injured. Well, 7 years into my career, 4 days after my second son was born, I was diagnosed with an aortic dissection, which turned into an aneurysm. And if it burst, you die. I had to have a major surgery. I was on the table for 12 hours. And I told the doctor, I said, I was more worried about losing my job than I was of dying. I said, if there's any way I can go back to being a fireman, I want to go back. And I did go back. I was out of work for a year, broke, went back to full duty after I was written off. And unfortunately, I was so broke, I had to get another part-time job. I went back to trucking. And 3 years in, my buddy that I used to roof with asked me to help him on a roof job. I said no. He was persistent. He said, I'll pay you $30 an hour under the table. I needed the money. Bad decision. I wasn't on the roof an hour. I fell off head first, 10 feet, broke my wrist, concussion, out of work again for 4 months, come back. Fast forward 3 years, January of 2009, I was involved in a snowmobile accident. Hit a tree at over 50 miles an hour. Strike 3, you're out. That is when I was invited to take a look at that opportunity. And, I look back at that too, Sean. If I wasn't at rock bottom, I might not have went. So,
Right.
And the reason I share that with everybody on here is a no is never a no. It's a not right now. The timing's not right, or the opportunity's not right. It's not that some people aren't open, but it's just the timing was off. So I needed something in that moment. And, I'm a skeptic by nature. It looked too good to be true. They're saying you do this, this, and this, and you can make this. But then the money started to flow. And as the money flows by the work you're putting in, and you start earning that recurring residual income, that's where things get exciting. I'm not in this industry for the upfront money. I'll never turn it down, of course, but it's about that residual, that recurring income coming in every month for the work you did in your first year, your second year, your third year, and watching that compound as you help other people get where they want to go. I excelled in that company. That was my first run in network marketing. I became a top earner in the company. I hit the top rank in the company, retired my wife at 41. I was able to retire from the fire department, the youngest guy to ever retire in our fire department at 45 years old because of residual income, which was multiple times more than what my pension was after 20 years. So it does work. It's not perfect, but it's a better way, as we always say. So, yeah, I would say in the early days of your journey in network marketing, you want to follow the people who are having success, and they're very honored to give you all their advice. They're many leaders are starving to share the information that they have in their head, and I would say one of my biggest frustrations in this industry has been people who need you don't call you because they think you're too busy. And I say, no, I'm busy with people who need me. You just happen to be one of them that don't call because you think I'm too busy. It drives me crazy. But yeah, I mean, you gotta find somebody you connect with. It don't have to be your upline. It can be cross line. It could be in another industry, just somebody you want to learn from, and that can really give you the tidbits, if you will, that you need to succeed in this business. And it's not rocket science. And we've all heard it before. It is the ultimate equal playing field. Doesn't matter race, religion, upbringing, education, doesn't matter. There's certainly advantages. I would say, looking back now, Sean, I've never sold anything in my life as far as a career type thing, but looking back, all the life experiences gave me the knowledge and made me relatable to so many different people. And that was all education leading up to this moment in time. And I tell people, the journey you've been on has led you to this moment. It's just a matter if you recognize it and step into it and take all that. I was out of work. If you added up all the time I was out of work at the firehouse, it was 2 full years. And nobody ever knocked on my door and said, Kirk, do you need me to pay your bills? So I can't worry about people's opinions. They don't pay the bills. But if you know that you're in something that's special and you want to share it with everybody, do it without worry of what they think of you, because most people want to keep you where they're at. They don't want to see you get ahead. It's sad, but true.
Guys, having your story and sharing your story is the way to have conversations, and you're communicating about your life and how you're helping others. If you don't have the story right now, that's fine. Maybe you don't have the experiences. Maybe you might want to use some of the things you learn in some of the podcasts that I have or anywhere else you get information, and weave that kind of information in your conversations so that you can have better people that you're working with. Like we talked about earlier with Kirk, you could bring in 3 people. That's great. But if they're not there next month, that recurring income is not going to be there. And I like to help teachers out there become more successful having a side hustle, because they don't understand. They like trading time for money. Oh, I could pick up another class. Oh, I could have a study hall. I could be a coach. I could do this. I could do that. It's all your time. So you're leaving your house in the morning. You're not coming home till late, and you're missing your kids. You're missing this. But I have the money. But you have a side hustle. Get into network marketing. You can trade your time because you're learning, then you implement, and then you have that residual recurring income that you don't have to worry about. And you can start paying off bills. You get a better situation, a better lifestyle.
Yeah. And again, I'm not on here to promote my opportunity. Certainly, if anybody wants to reach out at any time, please do. But, I'm in a service-based industry where I literally sign somebody up one time. I don't ever have to touch that person again. They just go back to doing what they always do. So it's true residual income. But, when I run into people that have the mindset that you're talking about, I talk about taxes, and something that really doesn't, it's not what we do. I always say, listen, I'm not an accountant. I'm not giving you any tax advice, but I'm telling you, as a career firefighter, a W-2 employee, if I made 100,000, I took home about 60,000 or less after taxes. And just by hitting submit in this business of network marketing, a 1099, it opens up a whole nother realm of deductions that, all the bills you already pay, your internet, your cell phone, your mileage, the things that you pay for all the time are now itemized tax deductions. And I will tell you this, Sean, this is a pretty wild story. So in my fire department, we have our pension, which I didn't have to pay for, which I'm grateful, very grateful. That's not even the case anymore in that same fire department. But we also had a New York State deferred compensation plan, which is better than a 401k, but similar.
Right.
You're capped on how much you can put in. Like I forget what it is. I think it's like 12% of your income a year or whatever. The guy come in from the state to set up the new guys with their deferred comp. I said, what's the most you can put in? And at the time I was already maxed. I go, that's it. He looked at me. I was 44 years old. Maybe no, actually I was 42 years old. He looked at me. He goes, yeah, I mean, he goes, if you're getting ready to retire, you can max your deferred comp 100% for your final 3 years. He goes, that would be nice, wouldn't it? I said, that's what I want to do. He goes, yeah, right. And the guys at the table go, no, he's serious. And I matched 100%, the most I could put into my deferred comp. I got a very little paycheck from the firehouse, just my my unit, whatever they normally take out. But the point I'm making is that was all money that lowered my taxable income by putting it into that deferred comp, and I maxed it out because my network marketing business. I was able to do that. So that additional stream of income. And I'll add this too. People get into this industry to get out of debt, but they end up making money and they put themselves in deeper debt. They go buy the big fancy house, the fancy sports car, and look at me, look at all I have. And, I think it's a big mistake. Go do what you started, pay off your debt, and then focus on those luxury items that you might want. But remember, everything you buy to impress somebody just makes them hate you more.
That's true. I mean, all things that Kirk is saying, man, especially the taxes. And we're not accountants, but we know, and I know this as well. I have an insurance business I've been doing for years, and that's why I got the taste of residual income. People have their policy they write the next year or 6 months from now. They sign up again. I get a commission. And that's why I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I like the network marketing, having the team aspect, the leveraging other individuals. And my son was one. I'm going to teach my son. He's only 2 right now, and he's
your first level.
He's in my first level. I have my daughters. They're going to start learning as well. Man, the value that's in here, and I want to make sure those that are watching, and if you stuck around the whole time, you got lots of things to implement. And if you don't, shame on you. If you do, come back and drop a comment. The least you can do is hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, drop a comment where you're watching from, and then share this with someone. And Kirk said it, earlier, as far as you want to introduce and have conversations. I want you to go to the description wherever you're watching this or listening to it. If you're on the audio and Apple, go and have a connection call. Learn about what Kirk's doing. All his information is there. Have a call, see if it works. If it works, if not, it's fine. Tell a friend about Kirk. That's all I ask. Let's continue making this connection with other individuals. I want to thank Kirk for being with us today. He's going to be on another one, I know, because we have so much more we can bring. Kirk, thanks so much. Everyone else, we wish you have an amazing rest of your day. Kirk, stick around for one moment.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean.